أنا إيمان رومينا جوناس بجانتيتون Ultra TV و Assyrians for Education. January 13 شتتر بسي خمسة خا إيفنت اتفاقو Santa Clara, California بشمت Equity in Infrastructure Project Bay Area Signing Ceremony. بدا إيفنت قربت خدسر دانه بلکه بوزوده پرسوب من دورانت agencies, transportation agency چیده و قدعتی پلج اودینی هایری بزنیز سوره نیشه دا پلج ای وقت کل any organizations and any agencies support اودی hubs in small businesses that in underprivileged women-owned business, small disadvantaged business, small business, or any business in a certified small business by county and state agencies. Plachita iwaqat hayriqa small businesses qad ansi gervisi avi prime contractor la akhchi subcontractor. Doni shokhina iliqat kull agency muydalkha streamline udila certification process qad lazim la yani kun takhlan azakh certified avakhim be tanqali metro CalTrains VTA kud agency itla certification gano biona khamdi udi qad centralized udila qad kulintan balki tkhalluk fa azakh apply uda certification lazim la min kulinte bnoshe certification process murakhlo certified avakhim adi azakh of that event
Hi, I'm Jennifer Mena with the Office of Business Diversity Programs at VTA, and I manage the outreach for the small and disadvantaged business enterprises at the VTA. And I'm here today in support of the new EIP project, fully in support of it. I'm excited to be a part of this monumental event and effort that we've come together as various agencies in the Bay Area and have committed to utilizing more robustly historically underutilized businesses in all of our projects.
Hi, I'm Rick Jacobs, co-founder and co-chair of the Equity in Infrastructure Project. We're here in Milpitas, California at the Milpitas BART station, where we just had a signing ceremony with 17 transit agencies and private sector companies who committed voluntarily to the Equity and Infrastructure Pledge, which is all about making sure that the public saves money by having more competition for procurements, because when more companies from historically underutilized businesses and communities can participate in the procurement process, you get more competition, and you also build the community. And transit is not about vehicles, and it's not about tracks, it's about people. And that's what we're about here today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here today. My name is Sergio Lopez, and I'm honored to serve not just as mayor of my hometown of Campbell, but chair for the Valley Transportation Authority. Welcome, everyone. It's an honor hosting this beautiful multimodal station, which is truly a jewel in our system. And it's a great example of what we're going to see today of the cooperation, collaboration that's needed to serve transit riders in Silicon Valley and beyond. So just a great example of the kind of partnership of this pledge. Before we get into it, I want to recognize a few folks.
And then this is how we increase generational wealth in underserved communities, and we are committed to that. We are committing and creating more opportunities for American businesses. We are creating more competition that delivers value to infrastructure agencies, and by increasing that competition, we save taxpayer money and ultimately save money on various projects. And so that is what we're about. We're very intentional about providing these opportunities, about having historically underutilized businesses prime projects instead of always subcontracting. This is how we create generational wealth. So we are rallying behind all of this. We're leveraging the transportation investments into investments in people's financial security. So all of this is very, very vital. So let me, without further ado, and I do want to say, there's one pledge signer that is not from the Bay Area, and I want to explain why. He is with Denver Water, Alan Salazar, and the reason he's here, he'll tell you why he's here from Denver, but he felt the need, he was eager to sign the pledge, and he said, Phil, I'm going with you to the Bay Area to sign that pledge. Wherever I need to sign it, he said he was going to sign it. But he's here, so I don't want you to get confused when you see Denver Water. And he's bringing water to California. So listen, without further ado, let's hear from our newest coalition members. We are going to start with my friend, Bob Powers. And so Bob, come up.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, how do you like the station? Huh? Awesome, isn't it? It is really one of the gems of the BART system, and it's here with the partnership of BART and VTA. The BART VTA family is here. And I also wanted to just acknowledge, if I take a moment here as the BART General Manager, we have Leslie Rogers in the audience. And if you don't know Leslie, Leslie is the former head of FTA Region 9. And many of us in here, in this room, and the initiative and the commitment that's at hand here, Leslie has been there for this effort here. So I just wanted to acknowledge you, Leslie. Just a couple of comments. So, Phil, first, I'm not sure why we didn't start with the Bay Area. So you and I will have that to come later. We're not. This is the Bay Area. We're not number 3 behind Philly and Chicago. We're number 1 here. So you and I will square up on that later. Look, when Phil called back and said, "Hey, can you help organize this?" and I'm like, "This is the Bay Area, right?" And of course, this will be one of the easiest asks that I've been asked to do. I know most everybody in this room here, most everybody at the table, people were knocking on our door to be part of this, to try to keep this initiative moving forward and really pushing on the use of historically underutilized businesses in the Bay Area. That's kind of our DNA in the Bay Area. And so BART, just this last year, just BART as an agency, 50% of the work we put out was for minority and women-owned businesses. 50% of it, just for the last calendar year. And let me put that in perspective for everybody. Well, what does that really mean? Well, in the next 10 years, we're looking at about $10 billion, right, of capital projects, opportunities for historically underutilized businesses in the Bay Area to partner with the Bay Area, not BART. You know, we have our partners here. VTA is here, CalTrain is here, MTC is here. This is about a partnership in the Bay Area. We're in 50 communities throughout the Bay Area, so there's going to be great opportunity. And it's just a privilege for me to be able to sign this pledge, 1, and 2, to make sure that we're following through on the pledge and the commitment as we move forward with this. So it's just a great opportunity and a very historic event. I'm happy to be here. And I wanted to introduce my good friend, Paul Pendergast from Build It. Paul?
Phil, thank you so much for bringing up the fires in LA. The AEC industry is enormously impacted. Our mutual friend, Celine Espinoza, has lost her homes. So let's pray for those people and also for the tradespeople and the craftsmen who were impacted from Altadena to all different parts of the LA region. So thank you again. Paul Pendergast, I am the president of Build It, which has become the world's largest industry association for the LGBT and allied community. And what I love about our community is that we are part of everybody. All ethnicities, all communities belong to the LGBT community. And we've now become, in just 5 years, the world's largest industry group in the world with over 8,000 members. And when I was talking to John Parry earlier, we were talking about how important the regional aspects are of this movement for inclusion. And I want to kind of trace back the steps that in 2014, the TJPA held the very first outreach event to the LGBT construction community, saying, we invite you to participate in the competitive bidding process. Then Nuria Fernandez, when Nuria was the head of the VTA, they were the first public agency to codify into their policies and procedures the invitation to outreach for LGBT firms. Then our great friends at BART took it a step further. Thank you to Laverta and to Shotzi for the work that she did in Inclusivity, bringing that to forward. Then we had the SFCTA, we've had CalTrans. Then, because we've been to several of these events in the past, the LA Metro and SamTrans, and we've had conversations with Phil. But I will say that today is actually a historic endeavor because this is the first time the LGBT business community and the AEC community has been invited to be a signer. So Phil, thank you for making history. And we are here with everybody because when our workforce wins, we win, and we must save more to the generational wealth. So thank you, everybody. And I want to let me introduce Mr. Sharp, the Executive Director of CalTrain. So thanks, everybody.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Phil, it's so good to see you again. I feel like you're the Pied Piper, really. And what a great turnout for such a great project. My name is Michelle Bouchard. I am the Executive Director of CalTrain. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what equity and inclusion means for CalTrain. It is one of our core values. And we don't move trains, we actually move people. It just happens to be using trains to do so. And that means providing a service that works for everyone so that people can integrate high-quality transit service into their daily lives. Equity and inclusion also means creating economic opportunity and connecting people to jobs, healthcare, special events, education, and their home. Having recently completed a $2.4 billion electrification program, CalTrain is looking to the future, and this project is all about looking to the future of equity and inclusion, and it is a huge step in the right direction. We're committed to creating opportunity for historically underutilized businesses and transforming our hub subcontractors into prime contractors is one of the greatest ways the agency can reduce the racial wealth gap and build truly generational wealth in our diverse communities. Public transportation benefits people both on the train and off the train, and we strive to provide world-class service to our customers every single day, and we are equally committed to being trusted partners with our corridor communities and contractors, as well as being good stewards of public funds. Diversity is strength, and I'm excited to sign this Equity Infrastructure Pledge today on behalf of CalTrain and to continue to grow our historically underutilized businesses. So with that, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to highlight CalTrain. I want to introduce you to my new friend, Denise Blake, from the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. Thanks very much.
Good morning. As the president of the Northern California chapter of the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, I am honored to join you this morning for this momentous occasion. The Equity and Infrastructure Project Plan is more than just a promise. It's a commitment and it's a call to action to ensure that underrepresented businesses and individuals are included when it comes to shaping our communities through transformative projects. Infrastructure is the backbone of our society, and equity must be critically embedded in its development. By committing to this project, we are moving beyond the words to measurable actions that will ultimately lead to meaningful outcomes. Together, let's ensure that equity remains centered to our work as we continue to create a future where opportunities are accessible to all. Please join me in welcoming Kathleen Kelly from Alameda Contra Costa Transit District to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Kathleen Kelly. I'm the interim general manager and CEO of AC Transit. We actually have a tie with Denver, which you probably know. There are only 3 transit agencies in the United States with directly elected boards. Ours is one, AC Transit, BART is the second one, and Denver RTD is the third one. But on behalf of our more than 17 million annual riders and more than 2,000 employees, we're proud to join today with our other transit and infrastructure partners in the Bay Area to promote increased competition and more opportunities for historically underutilized businesses and public contracts. For us, equity and access aren't just buzzwords. They represent a 65-year commitment to work to our riders and to those who work with us for business opportunities. Nearly 80% of AC Transit riders, and we serve bus riders in the East Bay. Nearly 80% of our riders are people of color. More than 70% have incomes below $30,000, and 67% live in low-income households. So our board of directors unanimously voted to support the Equity and Infrastructure Pledge, as we see this as a way to augment our longstanding DBE policy. In fact, this pledge not only reaffirms our commitment to DBE, but we believe that it can show that when historically underutilized businesses participate in transit projects, the financial benefits often stay within the very cities and communities that we serve and that need the opportunities the most. Our dedication to these values shapes everything we do and drives AC Transit to continually strengthen our connection with diverse communities across our region. And now I'd like to welcome Alan Salazar. You've already heard he's from Denver. I tried to convince him it was cold here today.
Our friends in California, that Denver Water is not here to negotiate water rights to the Colorado River or extend our service area to the Bay Area, as much as I might enjoy that. We are here in solidarity with one another to memorialize a decision that our board made and that I made shortly after joining Denver Water a year ago to join the EIP and to support the EIP mission. That mission is consistent with the way we think of ourselves at Denver Water. We're the largest regional water utility in the Rocky Mountain West and an anchor institution. And I say anchor institution because while our job is to deliver safe, clean drinking water to 1.5 million people, there are people at the end of the tap, at the end of the faucet. And the real mission is to support the economic and social prosperity of the people that we serve. That's the way I think of EIP. It's central to the goal of a water utility like ours. And I'm really honored to be here. And thank you, Phil, for the reminder. It was one of the first things that Phil talked to me about when I took the job a year ago. And I was in LA. We're just here. We're kind of catching up to the formal part of our pledge. And honored to be with all of you. And it is now my honor as well to welcome General Manager and CEO of the Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District, Dennis Mulligan.
My name is Dennis Mulligan. I'm the General Manager of the Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District. We have the pleasure of owning, operating, and maintaining the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. We also operate first-class bus and ferry service. We operate in 4 counties, San Francisco, Marin, Contra Costa, and Sonoma counties. We are proud to join our partner transit and infrastructure agencies here today in affirming our shared commitment to expanding opportunity among underrepresented communities and closing the racial wealth gap. In July 2020, our Board of Directors adopted a resolution affirming our commitment to racial equity and justice. Today's pledge underscores the Bridge District's dedication to creating inclusive and equitable opportunities for minorities, women, veterans, and small business owners in our community. We look forward to putting these principles into action and ensuring that everyone has a chance to contribute to our region's prosperity. I also want to thank the EIP founders, Phil Washington, John Picari. I'd like to thank Bob Powers for corralling all the Bay Area operators together in this effort, because we're all here because we share a common vision, but it takes people to lead us toward that vision. And I'm very grateful for those that have done that. It's now my extreme pleasure to introduce Ms. Alex Bachman from the Metropolitan Transportation Commission.
Good morning. It is such a privilege to be here today on this historic moment to sign the pledge. Again, my name is Alex Bachman. I'm the Chief Deputy Executive Director for the Metropolitan Transportation Commission and the Association of Bay Area Governments. MTC and ABAG, we have a footprint of the whole 9-county Bay Area, so that's over 7 million people. We work closely with our partners to really improve the quality of life for everyone in the region. That's why it's so important to be here today and why we are so proud as MTC and ABAG to make the Equity and Infrastructure Pledge. Equity and Infrastructure's mission to help build generational wealth for more families and to reduce the historical wealth gap between races in the country while also improving public infrastructure, contracting practices, and most importantly, also public infrastructure itself is a mission that MTC wholeheartedly supports. The goals of the Equity and Infrastructure Pledge closely align with MTC's established Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Our programs are designed to encourage small business enterprises to submit proposals on MTC procurements and to encourage more prime contractors to subcontract more work to certified small businesses. The commitments we made by signing this pledge not only support our vision of a vibrant Bay Area that is equitable, connected, and sustainable, but it also reinforces our commitment to pursue policies, actions, and investments that advance a fair, just, and inclusive Bay Area. So we're really excited to be here, and with that, I'm happy to and honored to introduce the mayor of the great city of Milpitas, Mayor Montano.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for being here in our great city of Milpitas. So good morning. Again, I am Carmen Montano of Milpitas, and I especially want to welcome Phil Washington, who is one of the founders of the Equity and Infrastructure Project, and to all of you here in our beautiful city of Milpitas. And don't you just love our BART station in Milpitas? We are so thankful for BTA and BART to get this going for us. So having a signing ceremony to demonstrate the national importance of equity is perfect here in Milpitas. And I'll tell you why. Because in Milpitas, we are the home to one of the first planned integrated neighborhoods in the country. You might ask, well, how's that? Well, back in the 1950s, when Ford Motor Company used to be established in Richmond, California, when they moved their plant over here to Milpitas, a lot of the workers couldn't find homes, they couldn't find housing. So that's when the Ford Motor Company, the automobile industry, the Teamsters, and the Quakers, they all got together and they said, you know, we're going to build a housing co-op for our workers in Milpitas. So now Ford Motor Company is now no longer the Ford Motor Company. It is the Great Mall of Milpitas, and when you have an opportunity to shop in Milpitas, we can use those revenues. So again, so our city has been and still is one of the most diverse cities in the San Francisco Bay Area. We have 80,000 residents in Milpitas, and if you've noticed, we are doing smart growth. You'll see a lot of high-density housing here and around BART, and that's the way to really build. So they come from all over the world. We are a very diverse community, and they all come here to work and live in the city of Milpitas in Silicon Valley. Very, very multi-ethnic. So the IAP's mission is to build generational wealth and reduce the racial gap, the wealth gap, by improving public infrastructure, contracting practices to create equitable contracting opportunities for the historically underserved and underutilized businesses. These contracts are crucial for our diverse communities and for our businesses to thrive. The city of Milpitas and other movers and shakers embrace this mission, which is crucial to truly be a nation of economic equity, opportunity, and justice for all. I have served on the BTA board for several years and am pleased how BTA goes out of their way to promote equal opportunities for their employees and their businesses. So to be fair in contracting practices is what EIP's goal is all about, and that is true equity and economic social justice. So thank you so much for this opportunity to sign on board. Thank you.
So good morning. My name is April Chan. I'm a general manager CEO for San Mateo County Transit District, also known as SamTrans. I do notice that my name tag says San Mateo County Transportation Authority. I am also the executive director for the Sales Tax Authority in our county as well. So the pledge that we're doing is actually for both agencies. So at SamTrans, we know that commitment and equity really requires action, and we need to make sure that we build the right system in place to make sure that we reach out to the historically disadvantaged communities. And so on behalf of SamTrans and also as a transportation authority, I wanted to say that, and on behalf of my board of directors, there's a couple of actions that we'd like to specifically take. One is that this year, we're going to be hosting a fair, and we want to work with the small businesses and the disadvantaged business community. We want to work with them to figure out what kind of barriers are they experiencing so that we can, before we establish our goals in terms of working with them, the DBE goals that we need to work with our community so we know what they are. And finally, we want them to be able to work on a number of projects that SamTrans has this upcoming couple of years, including converting our infrastructure to support the zero emission fleet that we have, a number of sea level rise projects that we're working on, as well as the maintenance facilities, a number of renovation projects. I'm very proud to be part of this contingent here, our sister agencies, making sure that we're building an economy to support our historically disadvantaged businesses. Lastly, I just want to thank Phil, Sean, and Dorval, who's not here, but gathering all of us here, not just here in the Bay Area, really across the country. So thank you. And I'm going to introduce Tilly Chang, my longtime friend from San Francisco Transportation Authority, the Executive Director, Tilly Chang.
Good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of San Francisco County Transportation Authority, including my colleague Carl Holmes, who leads our Capital Projects Division, to thank you all, to thank Phil, to thank John, Rick, everyone, for bringing us together into this important initiative to lead us through, Bob and Carolyn and everyone here, to bring the Bay Area into this coalition of the committed. There's nothing more important, I think, than making sure that we realize the full potential of foundational and historic programs like the IIJA, all the resources that we at the local level bring to that with our voter-approved funding and regional sources, so that we can really realize the full potential of all of the work, all of the policy, all of the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into bringing infrastructure investment to communities. I like to use the APTA mantra, where transit goes, community grows, and you could easily insert infrastructure in for transit. Where transit and infrastructure go, community grows. And that means much more than just the actual physical or service outcomes. It is the meaningful work behind that, from builders to operators and all the folks that are coming up through all the workforce pathways that we are all committed to ensuring that generational impact occurs in the entire chain of all who produce the goods and services that we enjoy in transportation. So at the TA, we've been really proud to develop some programs. This is a perfect opportunity to build on that progress and learn from the EIP community. We couldn't be more thrilled to join the coalition. Thank you again. I'm also looking forward to more success stories such as the Allen Group. I really want to thank and honor Shotzi. I know she's coming up, but they are just the model for what we're talking about here. They primed the Southeast Community Facility, another gem of a facility just like this in the southeast of San Francisco. So I just really am proud to, again, be here with you all, and thank you all so much for including all of us. And with that, let me go ahead and introduce my colleague from the San Francisco International Airport, Director Mike
Corncat. I am the new director of San Francisco International Airport. This is my second week on the job, and I knew that on my second week on the job, it was going to be a very important initiative. In fact, one of the most important initiatives to be part of this pledge with the other Bay Area transportation agencies. I knew this was important because I had the honor of working for Mr. Phil Washington at Denver International Airport as a CFO for 4 years. And through Phil, I learned that transportation infrastructure is how we can make the most transformative impact to society. And that's what we're all about, and that's what this pledge is all about. We are absolutely aligned in ensuring that businesses owned by women, minorities, and other marginalized groups have the opportunities to support that they need to thrive at San Francisco International Airport. And this pledge is more than a statement, it's a call to action. By increasing the representation of historically underutilized businesses, we are supporting the economic empowerment and strengthening the fabric of our community. SFO is committed to creating pathways for businesses, ensuring that they are integral in our infrastructure growth and future success. I am proud to stand here alongside my colleagues with other Bay Area transportation leaders to reaffirm this commitment, and I would like to introduce to you my counterpart of the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, Acting Director Julie Kirschbaum.
Double Mike in my 2-week tenure. The SFMTA carries over 500,000 customers a day and partners with all of the incredible folks here to really drive the Bay Area's economy. We are so proud to do that in a way that leads with values. And our values are trust, equity, economic recovery, and sustainability. And we are so honored to be signing a pledge that embodies those values and allows us to continue this good work. We will activate this pledge by continuing to do deep listening and outreach to historically underrepresented businesses and listen to what they say. We've acted on that by, in some cases, making projects smaller to increase competition, and by showing up when our partners need us. We have found that when we work with historically underserved businesses, that they have more credibility in the community, that they are more likely to be out there making connections, and that's the kind of construction work we want to do. San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, MUNI, is the oldest public agency, the transit agency. The good and bad news is that because of that, we have a lot of construction needs. And so we are very excited to be part of this pledge and to do all of our construction work in a way that honors this commitment. And now I am super excited to be able to introduce Shotzi and Jefferson, who really embodies this work.
Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to be good today. I'm not going to say what I normally would say. You can hear that note, so I'm very direct about this. But I first want to thank Phil Washington, because I was very excited about this program and trying to find out more about it. So I flew to Denver. I was so excited about it and met with him about maybe a year ago. And I came back, I talked to Bob about it. I said, we got to get involved in this program. So thank you, Phil, for your leadership, for actually getting this accomplished. But I challenge everyone here. I've been working with a lot of these agencies for a long time. So I do challenge everyone here to be able to do the right thing. I mean, look, we're in a new administration. DB programs may go away. They may not even be in existence. I have not been a DB in my company for 25 years, so we've had to fight a lot of these big firms. Not pointing at you, but it's all good. No, but it's very, very important. There's so much bias out here in the country right now, not just in transportation, but you have to have a commitment. I've been very fortunate. I'm gonna give a shout out to Bart, who we've been there for 36 years, and we have worked as a partner. I've been with SFO, for equally as long time, but we have been a prime for 25 years. We've not, I'm a sub now in the last 22 years, and I want to give a shout out to Beth, who was very helpful us in our early years. They're now doing the construction management for the VTA, part 2 San Jose project, and we're a major sub on that. And I bring this up to say that, look, we can talk about DB programs all we want, but if we're not working because people are good business people, that they have quality people, and that they're doing the work, no one will ever be able to build their company up. So the whole equity of wealth, I've not gotten wealthy, so I need somebody to tell me how can I get wealthy in this billable hour of business. But anyway, Phil, thank you very, very much, and I do appreciate it. I would be remiss not to mention my mother, Roberta Allen, who has been steeped in this for a very, very long time. She's down 93, she's still got it all together, and she's driving me a little nuts. But we have been advocates in this arena for my entire life and for my mother's, life, from fair housing all the way up to even she wrote the first affirmative action program in the state of California, and many of people that look like me or others in here, they would not have an opportunity if she had not had the courage to fight, many, many years ago. Anyway, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Shima Mirzai, and I am the Chief Financial Officer for the Trans-Bay Joint Power Authority, known as TJPA, the owner and operator of the Salesforce Transit Center in the heart of downtown San Francisco. TJPA constructed and delivered the Salesforce Transit Center as the phase 1 of the Trans-Bay program and is now advancing phase 2. The project that is known as the Portal, the project that will bring and connect CalTrain's electrified rail system and also ultimately future high-speed rail network to the Bay Area. At TJPA, we believe that the pledges like the one that we've been honored to sign today is more than the words. They are commitments to action. TJPA launched its DBA program since 2006, and since then, JP has demonstrated dedication to creating opportunities for the disadvantaged business enterprises, launching outreach events for LGBTQ plus community, women-owned and veteran-owned businesses, and also engaging a wide range of disadvantaged business enterprise in construction of the Salesforce Transit Center that created over 24,000 construction jobs and also generated multi-million dollars in contract opportunities for disadvantaged business enterprises. As we move forward with the phase 2, the Portal project, and we're delivering this monumental project in downtown of San Francisco, we're also committed to provide opportunities for historically underutilized businesses. And this pledge reinforces our shared responsibility to foster inclusivity, create jobs, and also expand equity and infrastructure to transportation system. Thank you.
I would like to ask John Rocket to come to.
Thank you, Shima. And what an impressive lineup here today. The CEOs, public and private sector, and their commitment. I can't think of a better way to start 2025 than welcoming these 15 additional members to our Equity and Infrastructure Project, which brings us to 91 public and private organizations that have now signed the pledge from coast to coast. So congratulations. I also want to give a shout out to the VTA staff who put all of this together. So EIP's an organization volunteer. We literally couldn't have been here today without their help, and we thank you for that. So you all know that there's a change of administration coming at the federal level. That's kind of the background of what we talked about. I wanted to remind everybody here today how and where and why infrastructure decisions are made. They're made at the local level. That is, since the founding of this republic, that is how we've actually made infrastructure decisions. What we build, where we build it, and how we build it, which is where EIP comes in, are actually decisions made at the local level and will continue to be there. So what you have today are a collection of local leaders who, along with their other EIP colleagues around the country, are basically saying, we're going to deliver better value. We're going to turn every project into a twofer by not just building bridges, but bridges to the middle class, but by actually building projects that have lasting economic value in their communities, raising historically underutilized businesses from subs, primes, to joint venture partners, to equity partners. That's a value proposition that's really important for infrastructure. And if you want to think about continued support for infrastructure at the local level, a big part of that is showing that value to the community of the project itself, but what the project does for the community and its members. So that's why we're also excited about EIP today. And this is the part of the ceremony where our CEOs get to do the fun part. So there is a signing pen for each of you, and we're going to ask you to synchronize this if you can. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then ask you to sign. But as they're doing it, please join me in congratulating our latest CEO leaders in joining the Equity and Infrastructure Project. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Thank you all and congratulations. Now the real work begins, where we help each other through best practices and different mechanisms like best practices to deliver better value for everyone. So thank you all for coming. Let me ask the signers to stay here for a moment so we can actually take some pictures and welcome to the Equity and Infrastructure Project.